Hello everybody, Shadow here, and welcome back to Virtue's Last Reward. Last time, we escaped from through the number 9 door. I don't know why I said from first. Yeah, so we escaped through the number 9 door. And then we got outside of the facility and found out that we were kind of on the moon. It's kind of the year 2074. And the world has gone through a pandemic and billions of people dying. So yeah, now we're here, back in the garden, and we believe that we have a key that goes to this grave. So let's open it. I think so.
What should we do? Are we gonna dig her out?
No, I don't think we'll have to do anything like that. You see the keyhole on the grave? If I just insert this here, I pulled the key off my ankle and fitted it into the hole. I twisted it to the right until I heard something unlock. With a quiet grinding, the grave began to shift. Oh my!
What is this?
That's a very good question. It's a treatment pod.
It doesn't look like a coffin.
I mean, it kind of does.
Yeah, it's a treatment pod.
Oh my god.
It is, isn't it?
Okay. The glass on the cover had frosted over, making it opaque. We couldn't see who or what was in it.
Let's see what's inside.
She grabbed a hold of the lever on the side of the pod.
No good. I think it's locked.
What?
Treatment pod TP00. Stage 1 defrosting complete.
Okay.
Stage 2 will be complete in 10 minutes.
I see.
Once stage 2 is complete, the lock will automatically disengage.
Well, thank you. Right. Cold sleep.
What?
These pods can put people into cold sleep. It uses something called CAS to freeze human bodies without destroying their cells.
So, Mizakane's like an ice cube?
I think so.
Then we gotta wait till she melts?
Yeah.
So how about you tell us your story while we wait, Kay?
That's a very good question.
Specifically, why do you know Akane?
I remembered.
What do you remember?
Okay.
Everything.
Right.
I was born and raised in this facility. It's called Rhizome 9.
I see.
A rhizome is an underground plant stem that spreads by sending out roots.
Interesting.
Kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes.
This facility is a little like a rhizome. Supposedly, that's why they call these installations that.
Okay.
The number comes from the facility's number. There are 54 rhizomes on the moon, and this is the 9th one.
Interesting.
Well, I suppose the other ones don't really matter to you, do they?
Yeah, not really.
In any event, I grew up here with Akane and Zero Senior.
Right.
I watched them create the AB project.
The AB project?
Yes.
Yes. Its purpose is to send Phi and Sigma, or their consciousnesses at least, to the past.
Right. Back 45 years. Right?
Yes.
So, you want us to change history, huh?
Indeed.
Go back and keep Radical 6 from getting out, and stop the reactors from exploding.
Correct.
That's our mission?
Well, not exactly.
What do you mean?
It's true that the ultimate goal of the project is to keep Radical 6 from spreading to the general population.
Okay.
But even if you do make it back, you won't be able to do much.
Okay.
By now, it's already too late.
Fair.
Too late?
Okay. What do you mean?
Let me begin at the
I
beginning.
started saying that before I actually read it, but it wasn't quite as predictive as other moments.
You might be thinking that Zero Senior and Akane were the ones who created all this,
Okay.
but that's not entirely correct.
I see.
They only followed the histories they'd already seen.
Interesting.
It was the only choice they had.
Okay.
Nothing less than the future of mankind is at stake.
Fair enough.
We need the two of you to jump through timelines while maintaining your memories.
Right.
That is why you had to play the AB game, and why the chromatic doors were necessary.
Okay.
By forcing multiple options, you could make numerous jumps. We speculated that jumping more would strengthen your memories.
Right.
The puzzles were also there for a purpose. Some theories hold that a moment of insight when you solve a puzzle strengthens your connection to the fourth dimension.
Interesting.
That was the reason for the puzzles.
Okay.
Your infection with Radical 6 was also a vital part of our plan. By slowing down your brain's processing speed, we can store your potential. With that energy stored up, we just had to provide a life or death situation to launch your consciousness into the fourth dimension.
Okay.
Like a
Understood.
bullet from a slingshot.
Yes.
Wait, hold on just a minute here. You keep talking about Sigma and Phi. But what about the rest of us? Why did you bring us here?
That's a very good question.
That's simple. In earlier histories, you were all here in Rhizome 9. We needed you here to accurately replicate those histories.
Okay.
Although I suppose that's probably not a good enough explanation for you.
Yeah, probably not.
In a sense, though, it is the truth. Our primary goal was to replicate history. The rest is...
History.
Yes. I suppose I should explain.
Okay.
Very well. I will try and do so in a way you can understand.
Right.
First, Alice and Clover. They were abducted 45 years and 1 month ago, on December 22nd, 2028.
Right.
The location is Earth, of course.
Yes.
More specifically, Los Angeles, California.
Okay.
Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
After being kidnapped, your bodies were sent to a facility under Akane's direction.
Okay.
You were placed in treatment pods and immediately put into cold sleep.
I see.
4 months later, you arrived at this facility. The date you finally arrived was April 14th, 2029.
I see.
Your trip from Earth to this facility was aboard a spaceship powered by an annihilation engine.
Interesting.
Following your arrival, your pods were placed in long-term storage.
Okay.
Does
Wow.
that make sense?
Are you telling me we were sleeping in those pods here for 45 years?
Yes, that is exactly what he said.
Yes. In preparation for this day.
But why? What do you need us for?
You are an Esper, aren't you, Clover? I mean that you are able to access the fourth dimension.
Right.
Am I wrong?
Did Akane tell you?
In a manner of speaking. As I've already explained, the purpose of this project is to send Sigma and Phi's consciousnesses to the past.
Okay.
Espers are able to sort of resonate with one another, which can amplify their power. You understand?
Okay.
This is why we brought you here, Clover.
I see.
What about me?
We needed your help, Alice, to deactivate Dio's bombs.
Okay.
Huh? But I didn't do anything.
But you did. In another history. You were able to perform
Right.
prime decomposition on the 25-digit integer that Dio left behind. Only you could do that sort of thing.
Fair enough.
Because of your feat of mathematics, we were about to determine that Dio had planted the bombs. Then we were able to question him and get the password for the number 31. Finally,
Right.
we used that information to stop the bomb in this timeline.
Right.
Without your help, Alice, we would have been reduced to nothing more than so much space dust.
Yeah.
This history exists because of your presence.
Indeed.
Now, let me explain why we needed Tenmyoji and Quark. Tenmyoji is simple. We needed you for the same reason we needed Clover.
Right.
You are able to access the fourth dimension. Almost half a century ago, you used that ability to save a young girl, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
We needed you to resonate with Sigma and Phi.
Okay.
So we brought you here. All it took was a messenger.
Do you want to see Akane?
Yeah.
If you do, come with me. I was a fool and fell for it.
Yeah, a little bit.
And you brought Quark with you. In fact, you insisted that he come.
Yeah, I know. I guess you were worried about leaving me alone, huh? He kept
Yeah, a
saying
little
you couldn't
bit.
run off to the moon and leave me behind.
I'm sorry, Quark. If I hadn't been so stupid and selfish, none of this would have happened to you.
Well,
I never thought this would happen.
it kind of needed to happen. Also, technically, in this timeline, not much bad has happened. Quark was asleep for half of it.
Can you ever forgive me?
I mean, sure, he almost killed himself, but he didn't.
Oh,
So,
don't worry
he's
about it.
fine.
I mean, I agreed to come with you.
Right.
I thought the moon would be way more interesting than boring old Earth.
And it has been.
What kid would turn that down?
We didn't see the messenger after we got on the ship. It was on autopilot. As soon as we got in, it headed straight for the moon.
Right.
During the trip, Zero told me to keep quiet once we got there.
Right.
I don't remember anything after we landed.
Fair enough.
Then there was a bunch of that white smoke, and we passed out. And when I woke up, I was in the AB room.
With Dio, who is
Now,
still locked to the
Dio.
sink.
His real name is Left, and he's
Right.
the leader of a terrorist organization called the Myrmidons.
I keep doing that. Every time they say that his name is Left, I always respond with right. I don't know why I do it. It's not even like on purpose. It's not like I'm gonna specifically respond to them saying his name is Left with the word right. It's just when people say stuff like his real name is blank, I'm just like, right, we knew that before. We already know that. Or right, that is indeed correct. But but with him, it's just so much more funny. Sorry, Ken. I'm sorry. Well, we'll continue.
He was ordered to come here. The Myrmidons are under the control of an organization called Free the Soul, which is in turn
Right.
controlled by a man known as Brother.
Yes.
It was Brother who orchestrated the release of Radical 6 into the general population 45 years ago.
Okay.
Do you
We got
remember what
that.
Phi mentioned earlier?
Maybe. Yes. Possibly.
The
I don't
ultimate
know.
purpose of the AB project is to change history and keep Radical 6 from being released.
Okay.
If we succeed, that would be bad for Brother and his organization.
Right.
Our success would prevent them from creating the ideal world they're working toward.
Okay.
That is why Brother sent Left, his trusted lieutenant, to this facility.
Fair enough.
They needed to stop the AB project. So, Dio was given 2 tasks.
Okay.
The first was to eliminate Akane, the architect of the AB project.
Alright.
The second was to join the AB game and win it.
Right.
If Dio won the game, the AB project would not be completed, at least not in that timeline.
Fair enough.
In other words, in that world, the project would have been stopped.
Correct.
If things didn't go as planned, Dio was given a contingency plan.
Okay. You know, I just thought about this. As funny as it is for him to be stuck, locked to the sink right now, it would be so much more satisfying to have him here in the garden, locked up, listening to this. Can you imagine how much he would hate realizing he was being played? It would be amazing.
If
It
you
would be
cannot murder Akane
so
and
great.
win the game, destroy Rhizome 9.
Okay.
Hence, the bombs.
Yes.
Can I ask you something?
Okay.
Perhaps
How did Brother know about the AB project?
he was also an Esper.
Right.
We can set Brother aside for now, though.
Okay.
May I proceed?
Yes. Sure, why not? No one objected. We were all curious.
Excellent. That explains everyone, save 2. Luna, and myself.
Right?
Sigma and Phi already know the truth about Luna.
Correct.
I don't believe I should reveal any more, however. I think it would be more appropriate if you could ask Luna yourselves at a later time. Would that be all right with you, Luna?
Yes, that's okay.
Okie doke.
As for me,
Take your time.
as I said before, I was born and raised here.
Yes.
The rest of you were brought to this facility, but I've never left. That
Okay.
makes me someone close to Zero Senior and Akane.
Right.
Hey, I've been wondering, who is Zero Senior?
That is a very good question.
You've already met him, Sigma, in another timeline.
Right? Yeah. Well, I saw a hologram. I still don't know who he is.
Stage 2 is complete.
Oh, here it comes.
TP00 unlocking.
Okay.
It looks like it's finished.
Let's do it.
Shall we open the pod?
Here it goes. Here it goes. Here it goes. Yeah, let's do it. All of us gathered around the pod. The glass was still covered with frost, hiding the contents.
Okay,
Here we go.
let's get started then. Ready?
Phi laid her hand on the lever and looked around at us. I swallowed. Yeah, anytime.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Surprise! What? Suddenly, my head was full of memories from other timelines. I'd seen something like this before. The warehouse of Floor B. In front of the white door. Kay was lying in front of me. I grabbed his mask and saw my own face. I never figured out who he really was. Sorry, my brain just shut off mid-sentence again. Why was there a man with my face underneath Kay's armor? It didn't make sense. After I'd seen him, I was injected with tubocurarine, and that was the end of that. But wait, if the person in the pod was the same person I'd seen on the floor of the warehouse, who was wearing Kay's armor?
You finally noticed. Didn't I tell you? You won't be alone.
Right.
I will be at your side, watching over you.
Okie doke. No. Oh my god, you're...
Yes, I am.
Surprise!
Akane Kurashiki.
Oh, I love the twists of this game so much.
It's you,
Hi.
June. I mean, Akane from. But you're old.
Yes, that's the important part here.
Yes, that's correct. I haven't spoken to you in a very long time, Clover.
Right.
Or you, Junpei.
Indeed.
Junpei?
Akane, long time no see.
I could barely hear what they were saying. My mind was still reeling. It felt like all the air had been knocked out of me. And it was all I could do to not collapse right then and there.
When? How long?
Do you remember when the two of you saved me in the warehouse?
Right. Yeah, we remember that.
Once you saved me, you went back to your future. Well, your minds did, at least.
Right.
I carried your bodies to the 3rd AB room, and then took Dio's to the 5th.
Okay.
After that, I went into the first room and borrowed Kay's armor.
Right.
So by the time you and Clover came out, you'd already...
Yes.
Okay. Fancy. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Dio killed you, and then Luna took your body to the 6th room. You couldn't have been in Kay's armor.
No, it was me. In this timeline, at least. In this one, I wasn't murdered by Dio.
Right.
You two saved me. It's just like Schrodinger's cat. Your actions in the future decided who would be inside the armor in the past.
Right? What? No, that's nuts.
Alright, what about the other history? The one where you weren't saved. What happens then? Who's wearing the armor?
That's quite simple.
Okay.
The man in front of you.
Him?
That's correct.
Okay.
Whenever I'm not in the armor, he is.
I see.
What about the memory loss?
For my part, I confess that I lied.
Fair enough.
He, on the other hand, was telling the truth.
Fair.
Large doses of Soporil can cause memory loss. I
Interesting.
gave him a rather large dose.
Fair.
So, who is he?
You've never seen him before?
Oh, Akane, I've never noticed how much of a leading question that
No.
is.
What about the rest of you?
I have no idea who he is.
Oh, it's so good.
I've never seen him before.
Me either.
Total stranger.
Hey, come on. What are you guys saying? Right here. Same face, same hat. Everyone's so confused.
Are you
I don't know
alright,
why,
Mr.
I'm-
Sigma?
I don't. You should be asking. You should be asking me that as well, because I'm not all right. I don't know why. I am maniacally laughing at every major twist. It's a problem. Oh gosh, I probably peeked my mic there for a moment. Oh gosh, I'm sorry about that.
Did you hit your head or something?
Huh? What? It didn't make any sense. Why didn't they recognize me?
Sigma, your consciousness can jump through time.
Right?
You can inhabit your body in the past or in the future.
Right? What does that mean?
Don't you get it? You've jumped to the future.
Right?
From 45 years ago.
Exclamation point! I looked around frantically. A pond! I ran to it and threw myself down onto my knees. Crawling on all fours, I approached the edge. My heart was hammering inside my chest. A cold sweat trickled down my spine. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down, damn it! I struggled to take deep breaths. Then slowly, I peered into the pond, looking for my reflection. Surprise! He's old! What? No, this can't be real. This face.
It's your face, Dr. Sigma Climb. Although, to the you that's behind it now, it's your face 45 years from now.
Yeah?
Zero, the mastermind of the AB project,
What? No, that's not possible. That's bullshit.
No, it's the truth. Fighting it isn't going to do you any good.
Yeah, fair enough.
Please, Doctor.
I'm not a doctor.
You will be. A pioneer in the field of genetic engineering.
You're lying.
No, I'm not. You created him. Well, I suppose I should say you are going to create him.
Okay. Create.
His name is Kyle Klein. Your clone.
Ta-da!
That is why he looks just like a younger version of yourself.
Right.
23 years ago, in the biolab here in Rhizome 9, you created Kyle.
Right.
Well, I suppose for you, that's still in the future.
Yes.
When I said I was born and raised here, I was still pretending to be him.
Okay.
The gravity here is only 1/6 of Earth's.
Right.
If nothing was done, the reduced gravity would cause his bones to be weaker than normal human ones.
Fair.
But you prepared for that. You gave him that armor. Ever since he was born, he's lived inside of it.
Oh my.
It kept his muscles and bones strong. He wasn't forced into it for the nonary game.
I see.
He's been wearing it every day, all his life.
Oh my. But why would future me create a clone?
He was to be your spare. If something happened to you before the project began, he would take your place.
Okay.
I mentioned before that the AB projects A and B stood for after and before.
Right.
That isn't all they mean, though. The A also means anima, and the B means body.
I see.
Anima is another word for the soul, or the consciousness.
Interesting.
Body is, well, exactly what it says on the tin.
Okay.
The past consciousness will go into the future body, and the future consciousness will go into the past body.
Fair
They
enough.
switch.
Right.
That was the chief goal of the project.
I see. Wait, so the future person goes into the past person?
Sigma, do you remember the note you found in the garden?
You mean this, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Ah, of course, it was you who investigated the garden in this timeline.
Right.
Yeah.
Sigma, take a good look at this.
Right.
It's an illustration of the time jumps your consciousness is making.
I see. We had this ages ago, and it made sense to me because I knew what it was. But I, in fact, didn't say anything because I knew that it wouldn't make sense until now.
A is where everything began.
Right.
December 25th, 2028.
Okay.
You inhaled the white smoke in your car and lost consciousness. From there, you jumped to B.
Which
January
is...
25th, 2074.
Well.
You woke up in one of the AB rooms in Rhizome 9.
Okay.
You are in your own body, but it is 67 years old.
Right.
Your consciousness has jumped 45 years into the future.
Okay.
I believe that may explain why you didn't notice the reduced lunar gravity.
Okay.
The body you woke up in was much older. Normally, you would have noticed that your muscles were much weaker.
I see.
In this case, however, the lower gravity balanced that out.
Interesting.
Moving on. If you continue along this line, what happens next? You reach C, which
Right.
is January 27th, 2074.
Okie doke.
That is today.
Right.
Whoa. Wait, what do you mean? Are you saying it's been 2 days since we woke up?
Yes, actually.
36 hours to be exact. Have you already forgotten? You were all infected with Radical 6. The virus slowed your brain down. So yes, 36 hours of real time have passed. But to you, it only seemed like 14 hours and 40 minutes.
I see.
Now comes the important part.
Okay.
After this, your consciousness will return to the past.
Okay.
It will re-emerge at point D,
I see.
April 13th, 2029.
Right.
You will return to your younger body.
Okay.
But that's the same day as the reactor explosions.
Right.
Yes. That is why I said it will be too late. You will return to the past, but the events you would want to prevent will have already happened.
Well, that sucks.
The story does not end there, however.
Okay.
The line continues.
Right.
After reaching point D, you will eventually return to B. But this time, you won't be jumping through time, or at least not at a rate faster than normal.
Okay.
Your consciousness will spend 45 years inhabiting the same body
Right.
until you reach point B.
Okie doke.
Do you remember when B is, Sigma?
The start of the game. January 25, 2074. According to what you just told us, it's 36 hours.
Correct. That was when the consciousness of the 22-year-old Sigma jumped into the body of 67-year-old Sigma.
Right.
So where did the older version of you go when you took his body?
Point A. December 25, 2028. The day all of this started.
Yes. His consciousness will go back in time 45 years.
Right.
For a period of time, he will inhabit your younger body. While your younger consciousness is elsewhere, he will be you in the past.
Okay. But once that body reaches point D, my 22-year-old consciousness will come back from point C.
That's correct.
Right.
When that happens, the older version of you will be ejected from your younger body and return to your body at C.
So it's rotating?
Rotating. I suppose you could put it that way.
Fair.
But look at this illustration closely.
There's
What
one
if you
more
take
thing.
all these lines and untangle them? You get one single line. It may look complicated, but in truth, it's a single straight path,
Right.
with one exception.
Indeed. This line here at point E, right?
Exactly. Point E is December 31st, 2028. the day of the total eclipse.
Right? The day Radical 6 got out of the test facility.
Yes. By now, you've likely figured it out on your own. The purpose of the AB project was to get the consciousness of the 67-year-old Sigma from point B to point A.
Right.
If we can do that, we can change what happened 45 years ago.
Fair enough. So, the old version of me will keep Radical 6 from getting out. By jumping into my 22-year-old body on New Year's Eve, 2028.
Yes. That is why this line could not be interrupted. In order for the 67-year-old version of you to reach point B, we first have to go through point D.
Okay.
In order to get to point D, we must jump from point C. And for point C to happen, we had to recreate everything that happened in this facility.
Okay.
That is why we have faithfully retraced history up to this point.
I see.
So that we might save humankind from destruction and undo the horrors of the last 45 years.
Right. Tell me one thing.
What is that?
You said that point C is January 27, 2074, which is today. There's going to be a jump, and I'll jump to April 13th, 2029.
Yes, that's right.
Right? But, look, I'm still old. When is this jump supposed to happen?
Very soon.
Soon?
Yes.
And what's going to trigger
We
it?
need potential energy stored to send your consciousness into the fourth dimension.
Okay.
Fortunately, we now have plenty of that. Thanks, ironically, to Radical 6.
Right.
All that remains is to launch your consciousness, like a bullet from a slingshot.
Okie doke. And how do you propose we do that?
Didn't I tell you? A crisis. A moment balanced between life and death. That can jumpstart your brain.
Oh dear. I don't like what you're implying. What do you
You
mean?
haven't figured it out.
Question mark?
I mean this.
That's why she borrowed the knife. Dio's knife? No sooner were the words out of my mouth. Fie! I screamed and leapt toward them. Akane was already in motion, the knife diving toward Fi's chest. I was almost there. Oh dear! When I regained consciousness, I was on the floor. There was a dull pain in my chest. I felt for a cut, but something was in the way. It took me a moment to realize that it was Akane's body lying on top of me. I twisted my neck to look around. Nearby was an old tombstone. On it was written a few words in Latin. Oh, don't make me say Latin. What you are, I was. I'm just gonna say to English, what I am, you will be. Oh gosh. And there goes the credits. We're not quite done yet, but we're gonna let them roll. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, I love this game. I love this game. Genuinely, one of my favorite games and visual novels ever. Ever. Excuse me, Akane Kurashiki, 22 years old? Excuse me, I saw that. But yeah, I love this game. The twists are so good. I think all of them are executed very, very, very well. I think the worst executed one is actually the Sigma is old one, but not for some of the reasons that other people say. I think, personally, I feel like that there were a couple of design choices for Sigma as an older person that are a bit too, like, I'm trying to think of how I want to phrase this. They're a bit too intrusive, and as such, it's kind of hard to suspend your disbelief and think, oh, yeah, he wouldn't notice this generally. And that being, one, his voice, because they don't really explain why he doesn't notice that his voice is different. They could just hand wave it of like, oh, your body is used to, your physical body is used to how you sound, so your brain doesn't actually perceive the difference, which they don't really say anything like that. So they could have literally just added one line and I would have accepted it more. And I mean, I still accept it decently. It's just that could have been just quickly like band-aided over. The other ones are the robot eye, because I remember specifically that there's moments where it says like he touches his face or he like touches his eyes and stuff, and he definitely would feel that he's got a giant robot thing on his face. He definitely would feel that. The other thing is the hair, because as someone who my hair is actually kind of similar to older Sigmas at the moment in terms of like style, and personally, if I do anything, like literally just saying anything like that, caused a bunch of hair to fall into my face. And I don't think that would happen with the way that Sigma's hair is styled in his 22-year-old form. I'm just gonna save, and we'll look at the flowchart. But yeah, I feel like his hair should have been styled more closely. I think it should have been styled closer to what his younger self looked like, or it should have been a shorter cut, because then it wouldn't have any risk of getting in his face. Because the only way that his hair at the current moment doesn't get in his face is if that hair is gelled to Timbuktu. It's like it's got to be packed with so much gel to keep it in place, especially after it being revealed that the game takes place over 36 hours. I've used hair gel for like plays and stuff. It doesn't last that long when you're sweating and when you're moving about and stuff. So there'd have to be a lot of hair gel in that hair for it to stay for 36 hours. But those are kind of my biggest complaints. Because a lot of the other ones are like super small ones of like, oh, he would have noticed his reflection in such and such mirror, or the aluminum foil, or the river, or yada yada yada. The other like complaints and like plot holes in regards to that twist are small enough that personally I find them acceptable. I can ignore them. But those three that I just mentioned, the hair, the voice, and the eye, they're kind of bigger ones, and it would have at least, I think they probably should have, like, tried to account for them more. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the hair doesn't actually. Maybe his hair is not quite the same as how I have it right now, how I have mine right now, and as such, it actually wouldn't get in his face. But, I don't know. I feel like those three could have used a little bit more explanation as to why he wouldn't notice, or, you know, accommodations of, or accounting for the possibility of him noticing, and etc., etc. I don't know what I'm even talking about. Let's just actually finish the game. April 13th, 2029. Do you wish to jump? Yes, we do. This shouldn't take too terribly long, so we'll quickly finish. We're not quite done with the game, but,
Today
we
is
do have
April
one
13th,
thing.
2029, and this is the evening news.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I don't have any news to read.
Oh. Okay.
All of our station's reporters have passed after contracting Radical 6.
Oh my.
So have my... Excuse me. I've managed to keep us on the air until now. But I'm out of
Right.
tricks.
Okay.
It's time for me to sign off. This concludes our broadcast day. I pray that someday our world can be cleansed of this horrible plague. Goodbye.
Oh dear. Yep, there it is. Well, at least the cameraman was still, like, aware enough to cut the feed. For a moment, I just stared at the TV. The roar of the static seemed to fill the entire room, until with a click, it disappeared too. Had the power gone out? I heard footsteps behind me and turned around. Oh, hi. You. Akane?
It looks like the first
Akane!
step was successful.
Right. What the fuck? You killed me!
Killed?
I guess technically you're going to kill me 45 years from now? But still!
Hey, no need to be rude about it.
Right.
I didn't kill you. I hit you with the butt of the knife. You're fine.
Okay. I'm okay?
Yes. You and Phi needed to experience a state of crisis. That was the only way.
Right. Me and Phi?
Yes. I only told you about you, but we also needed Phi to jump.
Okay. I'm realizing, I think... So...
Now.
I think I remember reading about this or something, but this is actually... I don't think the original voice they had for Akane. If I'm remembering correctly, I'm gonna try to look it up right now, because, I'm curious now. But I think they re-recorded the voices for this version of Akane, because before this game, none of the characters had voices, so they cast somebody, and then they cast somebody different for Zero Time Dilemma, and then they cast that same person for 999 for the remake, and I think they just had her, record the voice. They had them re-record this, I think. Okay. Well, I don't know. I can't find a thing exactly at the moment. I'm not going to bother with that because we're already close to time, so we should just keep going.
You know what happens next, right?
Yes, I do. We go to the moon? There's a little bit more to that, Sigma.
Correct. We will be leaving tomorrow, April 14th,
Okay.
2029.
Right.
We've nearly finished preparing your shuttle.
Okay.
Only a few last-minute checks and additions.
Right.
You'll be traveling to Rhizome 9, along with 3 treatment pods.
Right. Alice and Clover, right?
Yes,
What about the third one? Who's in there?
Phi. We put her into cold sleep 2 days ago. She appeared at our headquarters and volunteered to be frozen.
Oh my.
That wasn't the Phi who jumped from Point C, though.
I see.
It was Phi before she jumped from Point A to Point D.
Right.
In other words, she was following the same path you are,
I see.
and she still is.
Then that means that after you froze her, the Point C version of her jumped back into her body?
Yes. The Point C version of Phi is sleeping in that pod.
Okay.
She'll stay there for the next 45 years,
Right.
sleeping in ice.
I see. Then, when she gets to Point B, her consciousness will jump to Point A. Right?
Correct.
Okay. Got it. Huh. So that's why she didn't look old. Right. Well. Sorry, I said I wasn't going to try to look at it, and now I'm still trying to look at it. So why don't you just stick me in one of those pods?
We can't do that.
Right. Why
You
not?
haven't figured it out? You have to spend the next 45 years working on the AB project.
Right.
After arriving at Rhizome 9, you must master genetic engineering and artificial intelligence programming, among other disciplines.
Just imagine that, if you will. Being told, hey, you have to master these things. You have to make AI and clones.
Otherwise, you will be unable to create Kyle, Luna, and Lagomorph.
Right.
And, of course, you will need to develop the chromatic doors and the bracelets.
Right.
You'll also be the person who summons Tenmyoji and Quark.
Right. Okay.
Once you've completed all the preparations, then the project can actually begin.
Okay.
January 25th, 2074.
Right.
You will defrost Phi and carry her to the 3rd AB room.
Okie doke.
Once you've done that, the 22-year-old version of you from Point A will force you out.
Okay. Okay.
And you'll just
Got
go
it.
back 45 years to your own body on December 25th, 2028.
I see. Got it. I should really be paying more attention. And then I change history. Do you really think I can keep the virus from getting
You
out?
have to.
Right.
If you don't, billions of people will die.
Okay.
Only you and Phi can
Now?
save them.
What about you? Aren't you an Esper
I
too?
can't do anything on my own.
I see.
If this is going to work, I'll need your help.
Right. Okay. If you say so. So, what do I need to do?
What do you mean?
Like, what specific actions do I need to take? When Phi and I jump to Point A, what are we going to do
You'll
then?
both enter the Mars mission test site.
And after that?
I don't know.
What?
I'm sorry. I really don't know anything about what happens in there.
Okay.
We don't know how the Radical Six escaped. We don't even know why it was there in the first place.
Right. Ah, crap. Then we're screwed. I just realized, technically none of those statements were lies. technically... Sorry, I'm trying not to dwell on Zero Time Dilemma, but technically... Okay, technically the first one is like a half-truth. Because for those who have not... For those who are watching this blind, and don't know about Zero Time Dilemma, Akane is in Zero Time Dilemma. She is in the Mars test site. That's not a spoiler because all of the characters are basically, plastered on the front cover. So, technically, because of what I know of the game, technically, yeah, it's the first one's debatable. But for the other two, it's kind of true. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. We're gonna go over time because of this. Then we're screwed.
That's why we need your help. You have the ability to jump through time and across parallel worlds.
Right.
We need you to figure out what happened in that test facility.
Okay.
Things will be difficult. And I'm sure you will find yourself in a great deal of danger.
Yes.
But I believe the two of you can overcome any obstacle.
Right. Wait. How do you know it's so dangerous?
The 67-year-old version of you told me what happened. He wasn't able to stop the virus.
Right.
So I suppose you could say you told me after you failed.
Right. What did I say?
That the test facility is full of traps. There was one point, a woman's life was in danger.
I see.
You risked yourself for her sake, and lost your arms and your right eye.
My arms and my right eye? Surprise! What the hell? Suddenly, a low rumble shook the building. What was that?
I'll have a look.
I moved slowly to the window and peered outside. On the horizon, I could see a massive mushroom cloud climbing slowly toward the sky. Well, would we really be able to change the course of history? No, that was the wrong way to look at it. It couldn't be a question. I had to change history. We could save the world. I'm going to change history. I stared at the darkening sky above us and steeled to myself. I would succeed. Oh gosh, I'm happy and sad and everything all at the same time. And/or beginning. East Great. So that is... Okay, well, first of all, let me hit save again.